Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nate, and this is another weather forecast discussion for January 28th, 2022. Blizzard warnings are now in effect for portions of coastal Delmarva all the way up towards coastal Jersey, from Cape Charles all the way up towards Ocean City, and all the way up towards Wildwood and Atlantic City, going all the way up as far north as Toms River and Middletown, New Jersey. And then other areas include Cape Cod all the way up to Boston, all the way up towards Portland, Maine, and then further up the coastline. So if you are over there in those blizzard warnings, if you actually did get a notification that you are in a blizzard warning, you need to go ahead and start preparing now for the worst, because these storms, this giant winter storm, this massive blizzard, is going to be creating 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts across the board, as well as heavy amounts of snow and upwards of a foot in some spots to maybe even higher if you live into portions of New England. So you need to start preparing now. Get whatever you need. Get batteries, get battery packs, get food, get warmth, get any sort of clothing that you may need, get candles and stuff like that so you may be able to stay warm and stuff. Anything that you may need so that you may be able to stay warm, stay safe, and be prepared to go without power for possibly hours because of this storm. So just please go ahead and stay prepared now. Otherwise, there has been winter storm warnings that have been issued from Virginia Beach all the way up towards the eastern portions of Delaware, specifically the northeastern portions of Delaware, I should say, as well as into portions of western New Jersey, New York City, as well as Long Island is in it, as well as portions of Connecticut, Massachusetts, all of Rhode Island, New Hampshire, as well as western Maine. So if you live within that general vicinity, you guys also need to prepare, but you guys aren't going to be seeing the strong damaging wind risks from this system. Please go ahead and start acting accordingly. I would say do it now, because these storms are going to be moving through from Friday night all the way into Saturday, specifically on Saturday, moving on through into Sunday. So I would go ahead and start preparing now. And if we take a look at the official forecast from the National Weather Service for your snow totals, you guys can anticipate a hefty amount of snow from anyone in the dark purple and over inside of that. And so if you live within this general area here, you guys really need to watch out. I would go ahead and start preparing, get anything you may need, as I said before. And then if you live anywhere within the dark blue areas all the way to the light blue areas, I would still be mindful, specifically if you're over here towards Interstate 68 along the Allegheny Mountains. You guys are expected to actually get this a lot earlier than everyone else, from Friday afternoon to Friday evening. So if you're traveling through that area, I mean, we already know that Interstate 68 is pretty terrible to drive through whenever winter weather is moving on through. So you're just gonna have to please treat this as if you got a big winter system that's moving on through, because whenever you have something that moves through the mountains, you already know it starts to overperform. Now, I want to show you all the timings of this event as this moves on through according to the North American model. If you want to keep up with the date and time, it is above me in Eastern. And let's just go ahead and play this out. You can already see that snow is already starting to kind of creep in towards portions of West Virginia. And this is expected to move on further and further to the east with the banding of snow that's coming off from the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes. So watch out for that. You might even get some of that activity up there in Illinois too. But then as this starts to move on from Friday morning into Friday afternoon, you can already see how snow starts to kind of build up towards the Appalachian Mountains in the Carolinas and Tennessee too, heading up towards Virginia. And there are winter storm warnings over there for you all as well. So please watch out if you guys can. And this is expected to continue to move on through with the new developing low pressure system that I've been talking about for quite some time here on this channel, that really starts to kind of develop and move off towards the north and east. So definitely something to watch out for. You can definitely tell how there's a lot of warm air over here creating rain, and then the cold air seeping in behind this low pressure system that's keeping all of this precipitation into a wintry precipitation. And that is expected to continue as it moves off further and further towards the north and east. You can see how areas along the coastal United States here, from Delmarva all the way up towards coastal New Jersey, heading up towards Cape Cod and Long Island, you guys are expected to get heavy amounts of snow here. And even down south towards Virginia Beach and northeastern North Carolina, you guys are expected to get a lot of snow here within this time frame. And within that same time frame as well, you guys can also be getting And within that same time frame, you can also start to see some significant wind gusts that's going to start to move on through along portions of the coast. Much of areas are starting to get towards the 40s and 30s in some spots in miles per hour, and that is expected to continue to move on through and increase as you move overnight from Friday into Saturday. So the big thing here is that the overnight event here is really the main kicker. It is expected to become really intense. And then, of course, you got a lot of northeasterly wind coming from the said nor'easter that's moving on through, especially into portions of Cape Cod. So if you are over near Cape Cod, you guys really need to also watch out for some storm surge. Some coastal flooding is definitely going to be an issue here, especially with some hurricane force winds that are going to be moving on through your general vicinity. I mean, let's just zoom in here and show you all how significant the winds could be. Hurricane force winds is possible across portions of Cape Cod, from Provincetown all the way down to as far south as Chatham. It definitely could be the case here, and even towards Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, you guys could be getting some significant damaging winds. But then even further inland, I mean, look at this, guys. The oranges extend all the way through from New York City as well as into portions of northern New Jersey, all the way through and towards coastal Maine. You guys could be anticipating some wind gusts and upwards of 60 miles per hour in some spots. So you really need to watch out for this as this moves on through, and even as this continues to go all the way from Saturday evening into Sunday. I mean, look at this. Look at this low pressure system that really starts to develop here. I mean, really classic low pressure setup. Even the wind gusts continue to sustain even through this system as this transitions from Saturday into Sunday. So watch out for that. So snow will continue to be the case here all the way through. I mean, look at this massive band of snow, guys, all the way up and towards Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. I mean, that's some significant snow that's starting to move on through here. But the other thing that I want to mention is that you guys could potentially get some sleet and rain that's going to move on through into Nova Scotia. I think you guys are a little bit too far east to actually get into the main band of this snowstorm. But you guys will definitely see some snow to begin with before that warm air starts to actually start to wrap around completely. So I know I have some friends over in Nova Scotia. I'm looking out for you all over there. But if you're in New Brunswick, you guys are definitely going to get some snow. I mean, that's pretty much a certainty at this point. That's the same thing here too with anyone along coastal United States in the Northeast. You guys are probably going to get some significant amounts of snow as this moves on through. Now, as this system moves off from Saturday into Sunday, as I said, the system is going to start to move on through. It's going to start to lose a lot more energy. And you can see by Sunday morning, the snow starts to recede from much of the area. And you guys aren't expected to get a whole lot. You guys might see some external banding here that just comes across here from the Great Lakes. You might see some external snow and stuff. But other than that, it isn't expected to be anything more than that as you get into the afternoon hours of Sunday. And let's just show you what the NAM 3 kilometer thinks of how much snow an area could get. I mean, look at this. Some of the areas here near Atlantic City, Toms River, all the way down to Wildwood, you guys could potentially get up to 2 feet of snow according to this model, even up to Ocean City. Ocean City, almost up to 20 inches of snow. All right, I've been to Ocean City multiple times. I can't imagine if that actually gets up to 20 inches of snow. I mean, that's just kind of crazy there. And then even, look at this. Cape Cod over here, Hyannis, Barnstable, Chatham, that entire area up to Provincetown, over 2 feet of snow is possible within your area, guys. So just please be sure to watch out. On top of the coastal flooding from the significant wind gusts that are going to be in upwards of hurricane force, you guys could even get significant amount of snow. And that right there, my friends, is a blizzard waiting to happen. Now, I am curious, and I'm sure some of you are too, how low the pressure is going to be for this storm. And let's go on through, let's zoom in, and oh boy, it's a 965 millibar low pressure system that is expected to bomb out over this area. This is what we like to call a bomb cyclone, and this is basically going to do exactly what we just said: blizzard conditions, significant winds and stuff like that. It's just going to be one of those systems to where it's not just your typical nor'easter. It's going to be a bomb cyclone that's moving on through. Now, I know I usually do this in the beginning of my videos, but let's just go ahead and take a look at the current satellite imagery here just to see how everything is starting to progress right now. And well, you can already see your upper level low pressure system that's starting to form here. It's moved off from Canada and has moved in towards the Midwest and the Ozarks, and this counterclockwise flow is exactly what we're going to watch out for, especially since this is the steering mechanism for our low pressure system that's going to eventually develop off of the coast of the southeastern United States and move on through creating that snow. So basically what's happening here is the low pressure system is bringing in a lot of cold air behind this, and this is also creating a lot of strong wind shear. I mean, you can see these clouds race off from west to east and even from southwest to northeast. So this is going to basically tell the low pressure system where to go as soon as this other upper level low gets into the general vicinity, and it's going to steer it off towards the north and east, as well as basically create some very cold conditions for the backside of the low pressure system, which is the reason why we are expected to get some significant amounts of snow across portions of the northeast and mid-Atlantic. So now what I want to do is I want to take a look at the 500 millibar wind shear, which is about 6 kilometers above ground level. Of course, date and time is still above me, and we're just going to try and take a look at this to get an idea as to what's happening right now. So here's your upper level low that's beginning to move on through. Massive ridge that is building over here in western United States. And this is just basically going to set up for not only what's going to happen later on today into tomorrow, but what's also going to happen next week here too. So you can see how massive low pressure digs on through significant wind shear over portions of the southern United States, with wind shear values over 109 knots, which is about 120 to 125 miles per hour. So that right in there is pretty significant. You can see our ridge is continuing to move on further east because you have a low pressure system that is kind of shoving it off in that general direction. And eventually after this system moves on through, so you have your massive low pressure system above this massive dip in the jet stream. This is what you like to call a trough. This is what you like to call a ridge. And this is where a high pressure system sets up. So if you guys keep in mind what that pattern is, then you can kind of see what next week could potentially be like. And oh, that is a massive dip in the jet stream. There you go. You have a trough that is expected to move on through here from Wednesday into Thursday, specifically from Tuesday into Thursday, because there could be some severe weather prior to that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that is the time frame to look out for, and then you guys could potentially be seeing some winter weather in the backside and some severe weather in the front side. Now, these circles are not set in stone, all right? This is just a general area as to where I would watch out for if I was trying to forecast, specifically areas in the central and southern portions of the southern bubble here for severe weather. So if you were to cut this off right about here, this area right within this general vicinity right here is what I would watch out for. Maybe even a little bit further than that if I could actually angle my squares, but I can't, unfortunately. So just that general vicinity right within here is what I would watch out for some severe weather in the middle portions of next week. So let's show you how this works. Let's start here from Saturday, move on through. We have a period of quiet weather, but then as this new low pressure system starts to move on through, look at this. On Sunday into Monday, portions of the Northwest could potentially get some rainfall and significant snow within your general vicinity, especially in the higher elevations. And that'll basically move on through as an Alberta clipper that's going to move off towards the border of the United States and Canada. It's basically going to ride that border all the way through practically. But then this is when things start to get really interesting here, because notice that we have this massive area of moisture that really starts to shoot up further and further north. You have a bit of a warm front that begins to develop here, and then bing, bang, boom, we have this new low pressure system that is going to start to really develop here, and this could potentially create some severe weather for portions of the southern United States, specifically the southeastern United States, as well as some winter weather on the backside. So we're definitely going to have to watch out for that. So if you guys stay tuned to the channel, I'll be sure to update you guys more and more on the severe weather event. Of course, if this actually is severe weather, I will be able to live stream it and stuff like that. I can't live stream the blizzard tomorrow because I'm going to be out of town. So I apologize for people who want to see my coverage on that. But other than that, if you guys are wanting to stay tuned to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the information that I will provide on this thing, as well as leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and share this with friends and family and on social media so we can spread this information with as many people as possible. Now, our give it to me straight question of the day will be, what do you think will be the highest amount of snow to come from this winter storm that's moving on through from Friday all the way into Sunday? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will pin the person who I think is the most interesting answer. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.